9 years ago to the day, I put my own twist on the Hawaiian Leiomano and the Aztec mock weedle, replacing the shark teeth and obsidian blades with much more resilient razor blades. So I'm a little older, a little wiser. I know it's probably not smart to be doing stuff like that anymore. The blades are just not easily replaceable enough. So we're upgrading to a modular system that allows you to fit the weapon with whatever two-bladed hunting broadhead you like, including these cheap Shot Polymer hunting broadheads from cold steel that should help us maintain that morbid ancient functionality of allowing the blades to snap off inside of, you know, the pork belly duct tape to a punching bag that might be seeking to do your family harm. We're also taking the techniques we learned from the aluminum crossbow cam making video to push our aluminum sculpting abilities to levels never before seen on this channel, which actually is not saying much. All this and more on today's DNA production. Here you go. Hope you guys like it. Alrighty, big old 3/8 hunk aluminum, 2.5 feet long, 5 inches wide. This is what we're starting out with, guys. For all the cutting, shaping, candlestick making, this gosh forsaken thing is what takes me the most time. The design portion, if this little piece of paper fell out of the sky, I could make 20 of these things in a day. It's the first one that gets you. Also, this is aluminum, so I can't hold this down with a magnet. My kingdom for a water jet cutter. All right, quick change of plans. It's gonna save a whole bunch of time and effort. Instead of just gluing the paper down to the aluminum, I've gone ahead and transferred my paper template over to a piece of plywood. I cut this out on the scroll saw you basically never see me use because I basically never use it. So I can really quickly trace this out just with a Sharpie. And I can just make some really nice quick rough cuts with the jigsaw and clean it up with the router. And any of these inside parts here that you obviously can't get a jigsaw blade into, you just drill a corner out with a 5/16 drill bit and you can slip your blade right into it. This is not working. Man, I screwed the cut. I'll try the Diablo blade again with some lube. That's really nice, actually. Oh my gosh, you know what else? Some goofballs were trying to lil bro me for using WD-40 and calling it a lubricant. That's not a lubricant, that's a solvent. You really thought you did something, huh? Not bad for 3/8 inch aluminum. Once you get the lube on there, it is not an unenjoyable experience. How much does water jet cutting cost? Like a service. This is nuts. Wow, it's still pretty dang heavy, but it is starting to be something. Probably gonna have to redraw these lines, all the clamping with the rubber. It's definitely rubbing that away. Well, that was the easy part. I'm probably gonna spend the next couple of hours doing these. All right, I went ahead and center punched all the corners. I definitely wanna get this right the first time. There's like an entire bush coming off of each hole. There we go, baby. 12 minutes, not bad. All right, here we go. Bruh. Ooh. Man, with how effectively this lube coats the whole entire shop, it sure would be nice if it had a nice smell. It smells like a stinky boot. It's got that 12-hour sour, as me and my wife say. I gotta clean up. This is, it's kind of nuts in here. First and foremost, this beautiful machine here, getting the full spa treatment. Shoes off and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this off. I think of every single birthday present I've ever gotten in my life. That one has sparked the most joy. Thanks, babe, I appreciate you. Brand new, used once, no low balls, I know what I have. Wow, 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 wow. All right, here's where things get kind of iffy. I believe the absolute best chance I have at getting a good transfer of this pattern onto this rough blank is gonna be if I can stick them together with this spray adhesive. But as you saw, I need a ton of that white lithium lube to keep my bits from gumming up. I'm like 99% sure that stuff's gonna eat through the adhesive. So the question is, can I get this routing done fast enough before the layers peel apart? I'm gonna buff it with the orbital sander and then triple clean it with denatured alcohol. Wow, that is like a mist. It's always been like a web. It's pretty nice. Man, I hope this works. That's pretty nice. Time to get scary. All right, here goes nothing. Definitely going face shield with this one. Not cool. It is freaking working. I was right. It's a race against time. Got no time to sit around and think about what I'm doing. Just gotta get it done. Well, could be it for the profiling. Oh wait, I have to get that little tiny nook right there. All right, I'm not done with the routing yet, but I am done with this template, which is the scariest part to me. This actually kind of works out pretty cool because I was kind of wondering this whole time how I was gonna separate this cleanly once all the cutting is done. Something tells me these two things are ready to just jump right apart. Just kidding, I was wrong. Well, it's cool to know that I was a lot less close to death than I thought I was this whole time. There we go. Hear my stomach. Wow, that is a pretty little hunk of something. Very cool, but also not very cool. Oy, oy, oy. All right, we're not out of the woods yet. As much as I would love to just go inside and start editing, I know for a fact I don't want to come back out here to this disgusting garage and do all this tomorrow. So let's get this routing out of the way now. All right, I'm not sure exactly what size roundover bit I want for this, so I'm gonna start small. Honestly, we might have a one-hit wonder on our hands. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. I'm just gonna do that everywhere. I freaking did it. Ooh. I was kind of wondering if I'd made this little swell right here a little bit too big, but that was a, what would you call it? A tactile illusion. I just completely made that up. The sharp edges made it seem like it was way too big, but now that it's nice and rounded out, ooh, that feels nice. It looks so cool too. It doesn't even have the spikes on it. Ugh. Alrighty, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna clean up and go inside. Man, this is exceeding my expectations. I just couldn't be more pumped about this. Well, I could be 0.001% more pumped if there wasn't little mistakes like that. But actually, this is the side with the glue on it, so we'll see if that buffs out. Spray, spray. Wow, this honestly is pretty nice. All right, now we prepare the edge for center marking so we can drill our holes just perfect. Now we get a nice flat surface to put it on. You take a drill bit that is the same diameter as the thickness of the plate. So for me, that's 3/8. Whew, that's a nice clean line. I got the spots for the teeth marked out. I'm gonna click them up. Nice. I just got a bottle of this stuff. It smells so much better than that white lithium grease. Alrighty, first real problem of the build. Not bad, not bad. So obviously I'm trying to maximize the width of these things because it has to be very strong to take the impact. But I think I just may have cut it a little too close because when I insert the broadheads, there's just barely a little bit of the thread sticking out of the bottom. Hanging on there. So I'm wondering if I could use a drill bit that's the same diameter as this little collar right here, if I can drill down just to the edge of the round over so that it hopefully doesn't affect the profile of the frame all that much, but will maybe give us just a little bit more thread to work with. And I know about this time people are going to be wondering why I didn't just drill these holes smaller and tap them so that I could just, you know, screw the broadheads in. I'm sure you guys remember from the video 9 years ago, as I was saying, part of the function of these weapons is that these blades actually break off in the soft target that you're hitting to cause continuous damage. It's gross to think about, but you know, these things are obviously not made for non-gross things. Well, anyways, I'm sure you could picture if this thing were to break off right at the base right here, that threaded rod would be pretty much impossible to retrieve out of there. And I want these things to be really easily replaceable. It's kind of the point of this build. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna drill down very, very carefully with a 3/8 bit. Try not to cross over the flat part of the face right here. Well, that was hideous. Let's try a little work with the file. All right, it gives me just as much thread as I need. This is a bad example because of this rounded corner right here. Probably got to shape that out a little bit too to get the nut on there. But yeah, this is gonna work. Time to, I guess, file for the next 4 hours. See you later. All right, I've done this full side. I think I got a good technique to share with you. Let me flip it over real quick. So first, make sure whatever hole you're working on is right above the vise. This just minimizes the vibration, makes your cuts more precise and efficient. So I got the caliper set to the width of the collar. I'm gonna use this to mark the dicum. Now we're gonna start with a pretty fine triangular file. These are really, really good for starting lines. They don't slide around as much as flat files or square files. Now those two marks right there will create kind of a hump, and we're going to use a much rougher square file to bring the hump flat, or to flatten the hump, as they say on Earth. And you can also use this rough one to go the majority of the way. It's a lot quicker than the other one. Now we switch back to the really fine one, finish it up. Now I'll check the flatness of it. It's pretty good to me. And you just got to do that 27 more times. You know what? I actually finished that in just about exactly half the time that I was expecting. So I think I'm also going to do the flattening on the insides of the holes. It'll make it so the nut can make full contact with the surface, because right now it's rounded in there. All right, see you in a minute, or a bunch of minutes. You know how the last hour of the road trip is just so excruciating? That was the final 4 little flats here. But I got it done. So now the final little bit of shaping on the paddle blade area. Just gotta carve a little slot into this corner right here so the blades can seat fully. Probably gonna have to do it down here as well. Gonna go Dremel tool on this one with a little bloop of 3-in-1. Now, old habits die hard, and shamefully at this point, after all this work, I'm thinking, how can I just finish this quickly? Feeling an evil pull just to put a lizard skin wrap on this thing and call it a day. But I have put so much work into this dang thing, it feels like sacrilege to do something like that. So I went ahead and created these really nice, they kind of look like Coke bottles, huh? Created these really nice Gonzalo Alves or Tiger Wood handle scales. I feel like these just serve the build so much more justice. Now I'm gonna have to put these on a little bit different than I would normally do with a knife handle, because usually you just put the whole entire block of wood on both sides of the tang and then you grind the whole thing down so it's just one big shape. But I actually want to preserve this aluminum sticking out of the edges. I feel like it looks pretty cool. So I'm actually gonna have to epoxy the scales on first, and then I'm gonna drill through it and put the pins in. Hopefully this works. I don't think I've done this before. £40-pound punching bag from Plate Against Sports, EVA foam, I don't know, 4 inches, pork belly, rack of ribs. There's no way you guys thought the duct tape meat weapon test era was over. The only difference is I'm a dad who grills, so all of my barbecues are tax deductible. Ugh. Behold a man. Oh! I think they are all in there, every single one. That might be the scariest thing I've ever made. I thought they were gonna stay on there and then I would have to hit the ribs for them to actually break off, but I don't see a single one out here. That is terrifying. Every single one that touched just got like vacuumed up by that pork belly. I guess I still gotta get the ribs though. I'll go one hand. That is stuck in the bone. That's a bizarrely clean cut. Guys, this could be not just the scariest, one of the most effective weapons I've ever made. Oh my gosh, look at that. They're just lined up inside there. That is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. Oh great, well now your weapon's useless after one hit, right? But you gotta bear in mind, it only breaks the teeth off if you hit something. I still got a bunch of teeth left. I'm gonna go for it. Wonder if I could get a cool handheld high-speed shot. Hope this isn't just a total waste. Oh, I think I got the punching bag. Let's go up close. This thing is absolutely bonkers. Wow, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Not to mention, this is still a freaking giant piece of metal. You can still whap, 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 whap. Oh, buddy, I got a little carried away. This is supposed to be bacon for the family for a few weeks. That'll buff out. As cool as these are, it does kind of hurt knowing that I just blew through 30 bucks of ammunition in a couple of seconds. And tragically, these things are not reusable. If I do reload this thing, I mean, you know it's made to just accept broadheads. I'll probably just use something like this. These are actually the same broadheads that I use for the sling darts, the large size of them, but it's literally just a solid hunk of steel. And it's stubby, so there's a lot less leverage against the spike. It might not look as flashy, but something like this is gonna hold up a lot better than the what is it? I almost said polystyrene. Polymer. The polymer broadheads. These are a bit more expensive though, but I mean, holy smokes. That is just one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. And now we grill. Ugh, I got pork on the lens. It would honestly be pretty cool to make a, remember those bone splitters I used to make? Make one of those out of a 3/8 piece of aluminum like this. I mean, why not? This is practically that, just, you know, with holes. And the leftover little thing just pops right out. That's awesome. Sorry if this is totally out of focus, but that is all I got for today, guys. Do check out the Patreon. They actually saw all of this early. This was a bonkers fun experience. Great build, awesome weapon test. Couldn't have been better. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.